brews, and banter.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, Roman. How are you?
Good. Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Welcome to our studio and to Brews and Banter podcast. This is your first time here?
It is. Thank you for having me.
Thanks
for coming here.
Thanks for making time and enjoying the beer. We usually always tell people what we're drinking first, and then we jump into.
Well, yeah, you say usually, and that's really what happens.
We forget sometimes.
But like the last 6 months, we've not done that. So anyway, I've got a, this one.
It's a Sour Monkey.
It's Victory Brewing.
Yeah, 9.5% ABV. What are you drinking?
I've got Lord Hobo's Boom Sauce.
Oh, that's good stuff. I just brought that from Boston not too long ago.
Yeah, so that's fresh. I don't know how fresh this is.
Thanks to my brother. So, Chris, introduce yourself. Give us a little history. And I saw an article about your local restaurant business, and I thought you'd be a cool person to talk to and invite you over in the studio.
All right. Well, again, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
My name's Christopher Griffin, and I've been in the area for just short of 8 years now. I have a small restaurant. Name of it's Brazen. It's a cafe, kind of in name only, and that we happen to have coffee. It's been open for just short of 2 years. August will be our 2-year anniversary. Mm-hmm. I've been in business for myself for about 3, and we found that shortly after. It's across from Crouse Hospital in the physician's office building.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's grab and go. We got a couple of little tables there for people to hang out and eat if they want, but it's mostly
like a to-go business.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been building catering off of that. So that's been kind of taken off. So the walls are bulging a little bit, but that's a good issue to have.
Nice.
Yeah. I saw an Italian parm something on your website. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, we did.
Some sort of Italian sausage.
Yeah, it was a sausage parm we ran. It's not typically in my wheelhouse, but I just got a great deal on some of the stuff, so I decided to run it, and it went over really well.
I looked at your menu, and the display of your food is unique. You don't see grab and go restaurants or even small restaurants have that kind of a display. Like the food just looks good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It makes you want to go and eat it. So I've been out of town, been busy since I got back, but my goal is to see if I can come by and grab some food from you. There are a few things on the menu I've labeled.
Well, your menu probably changes, right? I mean, like you do these things with the Italian sausage. It's probably just people come in and what's there is there.
Yeah, I run specials as I feel inclined. The main menu is primarily tacos, rice bowls. We have a loaded fry for people that want to fall asleep at their desk after lunch. And then we do dinner kits. And like I said, I do quite a bit of catering out of there. We actually just did our first wedding this past weekend. So we got to enjoy some of the really nice weather we've been having.
How many people in the wedding?
140.
That's good, yeah.
So is there like a limit capacity that you can handle, or as long as you have enough time to prep?
As long as there's enough time to prep and set up, and then at some point the facility's going to matter. So this was at a farm, and we had basically a tent. I rented equipment, and we had a small place to be inside, but it was we brought the whole operation to it. So that would probably be the peak for doing something that size.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, with the limitations you have now, but you could grow into something bigger.
Absolutely,
and you will if you
Yep, and that's a work in progress already.
Yeah.
The idea from the beginning was to be grab and go, or were you going to start like a small restaurant and then see where it goes?
When we found the place I'm in now, the idea was to start the grab and go and have it as essentially a commissary space for catering. So it's doing just that right now. Yeah.
Do you want to give people a little background? A lot of your military vocabulary is coming out. Operations. So let people know where your background and what kind of got you into the food.
Okay. They're related, definitely. Yeah. So I was in food service prior to going into the Marine Corps from the time I was, 14. I did a little of everything. Then I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. I was in the Far East. I was in the Middle East. I was stationed in Southern California. And the first kind of revelation about food to me was I was in this little carniceria, and I ordered a carne asada burrito, and it absolutely blew my head off. Like, I didn't know something could taste that good.
Right.
And that was at the time where Food Network was really surging. And so when I'd come home at night, I'd be watching everything I could on Food Network. There was no binging because it was whatever show you could get. There was no Netflix at that point. But when I got out, I was cooking. I was working in restaurants. I was going to school for something else. And long and the short of it was I went to Paul Smith's and finished my culinary degree there. And I've been in a number of places since then and finally struck out on
So are you a chef?
I am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So did you start in culinary in Marines?
No, I was infantry by trade.
Okay.
So I did a few things under that umbrella.
What was your job?
So I was, the MOS is 0311, which is infantry rifleman, but there was a lot of urban terrain type of stuff that I kind of focused towards, or where I was. It's just the schools I landed in and my training trajectory kind of put me there.
My brother was motorman.
Yeah, 0341.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
How could I? So, and then because of your travels, you've tasted different foods, and before you joined military, you had some hands-on with food services,
Right.
and that kind of like you came out of the military and wanted to pursue that career.
Yeah, I think the inherent comfort, like restaurants have a way of pulling you back in. And it was funny because when I enlisted, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna have to work in a restaurant again. Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Japan, different styles of service and their focus on technique and ingredients, and then California, it was a really broad range. There was Mexican, Peruvian, Ecuador, different types of Asian cuisine.
Probably a lot of silicone in that food.
Where?
In California.
Oh.
Maybe not the food, but
So that's great. I mean, even in the photos that you take on your menu, it's got that a little bit of a Asian design in it, like the way you show the food or present. What's the word? Present
yeah,
it.
show or presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, it doesn't look like something you would walk into a quick restaurant, like a small mom and pop's restaurant, see that kind of display.
It's and I have my wife to credit for a lot of that because I was taking the pictures for a while and they were just terrible. So it's a good thing I didn't go into photography. But it's a lot of influence I've just taken from other chefs I've seen, other restaurants, other plating styles, and I just I grab whatever I like and I try to use that. So it's not authentic; it's just authentic to me.
Is there anything on your menu inspired from your travels in the military that you've been into other countries and tried?
There, a little bit the way I do tacos. I mean, if you were to see tacos in Southern California or going into Mexico, like a true street taco, they're fairly simple, but they're a flavor bomb. So I've added an extra, some kind of a crema to it, or I've used microgreens, which you wouldn't see, but I've tried to replicate the flavor profiles as much as possible. So the little bit of heat, the fat, acidity. I use flour tortillas right now because I don't have the means to make good corn tortillas, and I was ruined out there for corn tortillas forever.
Right.
So
It's so good.
yeah, it's just totally different when somebody's just making them to order. But short of that, that's kind of what I try to mimic.
I see.
And Asian cuisine, the heat, the funk, the sweet sour contrast, the umami. I try to hit on that in whatever application I'm putting it to.
In tacos, I feel like is it cilantro, right, that comes through strong at first before you kind of get the taste of the meat?
It can, if it's overdone, if it's overemphasized, because cilantro, some people have an aversion to it, and it's a softer, but it's strong.
Yeah, too much is definitely too much.
Yeah, it's strong.
Right.
I lived in Boston before I moved here, and there was a train stop I would come out, and there was a Mexican restaurant that was put into this like valley between two buildings. They basically put a wall in the back, the front, put the doors there, gas lines, and all they made were tacos and burritos.
Like just stop, grab, and go.
There was there was barely any place to sit. Actually, no, there's no place to sit. There were these boards attached to the brick walls of other buildings, and you just stand there.
Yeah.
It's like a taco burrito bar, but not a lot of room. Maybe 4 people on this side, and then most people are coming in and out. But man, those tacos, you come out of the station and you smell it.
You're almost describing what I found. I walked in, it didn't even have a sign in front, but it had a line going down the street. I'm like, what is all this? And it was mind blowing. Same deal.
Yeah.
But overseas, you had something to eat. I think you said you tried the carne asada taco or something.
So when I was in
Burrito?
when I was
Where were you?
in
Yeah.
when I was in California, when I was
Okay.
stationed there. So I spent the better part of 5 years there.
Okay.
And there I lived just north of San Diego, and there was this
Yeah.
taqueria, Mexican food, name it, they had it, and it was just all so good.
Yep. Yep.
I've
Yeah.
been to San Diego, and when we travel west, I like to try different cuisines that maybe we have it here, but you feel like if the population of that region higher there, they might have better.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily always, but
Right.
you want to try it, experiment it. But yeah, their tacos are good there.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
were in San Diego actually
Yeah.
for a wedding. That's pretty cool. But this business now here in Syracuse, you started 3 years ago.
I formed an LLC just about 3 years ago, and I've had the shop for 2 years now, coming up on 2 years.
And so the plan is to obviously grow, and
Yes.
you'd like to get your standalone building somewhere. You think?
I think so. I'm actually in the process of writing a business plan right now, but something standalone. I'd love the property to go with it, but you can wish in one hand.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, something a little more fine dining driven in front, and so a kitchen the size that can support a larger catering operation or a multitude of catering operations.
So it will be a sit down dinner,
Right.
lunch, full menu.
Yes,
Okay, and then you'll still continue your grab and go and catering.
that's the plan. So
Yeah.
expansion at this point,
Yeah.
hopefully.
You have partners?
No, my wife, she helps with a lot of the back of the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She helped out a lot with this wedding, being my eyes in front. She also has some, she's doing her PhD at Syracuse right now. So she has some good connections there, and that's right in my backyard. So
Yeah.
we've had a lot of opportunities to do drop-off lunches and that kind of thing. And then just some other places in that local vicinity is pretty much my market for that shop.
I see.
Yep.
You get a lot of students.
I get a lot of upstate medical students. I don't
Most-
get so many of the undergrads.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of I get some PhD students. I get some professors, staff, and then upstate medical students, upstate staff. A lot of people from Crouse. A lot of people in the building that I'm in.
Are you serving dinner now?
Just lunch. We're going 10 to 5, and I did that to kind of shift away from the breakfast crowd. It didn't quite shake out the way I'd hoped. But lunch has been going well, and the dinner kits, I'm trying to grab people on their way home so they don't have to go to the store. Very
I see.
minimal cooking, like during the week. If you don't want to actually,
Mm-hmm.
trash the kitchen to make dinner, you can.
I've been doing these pre-made frozen meals. You
Mhm.
just come home, it's already portioned. I throw it in the microwave.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like that, but it's freshly cooked.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good niche now. I mean, you got all this fast food bullshit, all this stuff, but now you get sort of authentic to you food, or probably a lot of other people that haven't had what you had out in California. But you get fresh made food made for you, prepared, so it's not frozen, but you still get to go home and make it instead of going through all the work of preparing it yourself when you get there.
Right. And it's more or less ready to go.
And a lot of people are doing that, and that's what my point was. There's a lot of people that are sort of following not so much your type of food, but preparing it for people to grab and go home and make, or warm up.
They're exhausted. They're leaving work.
Yep.
It's like sometimes that's the last thing you want to do.
That's what we
is
do.
go
We
home.
just grab and go with this.
That's it. That's it. This is a perfect food.
Yeah, liquid lunch.
Yeah.
It's in a green can. There's some sort of vegetable in here.
How many times I've come home like, oh man, I gotta cook, then you gotta clean everything, and I'm sure people feel that way.
Well, it leads to just bad nutrition, because now you're just going to find some shitty food, like I'll eat this something that's just not good for you, which is typically frozen, but not the stuff you're buying. Like yours is fresh, frozen, prepared stuff.
Yeah, it's a program I'm with. It's made in Rochester.
But it's not these kind of Tyson frozen food or something you
No,
get out.
it's not like that.
Right.
No, it's designed to keep like the calories down.
It's a good niche though. Yeah.
Protein up, and I've been losing weight and feeling better. So speaking of like nutrition, is there some kind of nutrition diet that is in your meals, or certain ones are, and some like do you like concentrate on that?
I think there's a nod to it. A loaded fry is bad for you any way you cut it. But that's by design. So, for example, the Chipotle chicken bowl we have that's been on our menu since day one, it's a grilled braised chicken thigh. I make this sauce for it, which I finally just came up with a name for if I ever decide to bottle it.
Share the name.
No, he can't share it. It's going to have a Brews and Banter logo on the bottom.
We can work something out.
We can work something out. Right? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's then it's got a street corn salad, so esquites as opposed to elote. So it's a roasted corn, and it's got tomatoes and cucumbers. It's got a little mayo in it, but it's like a crema, and then some avocado and rice. So it's
really good.
It's healthy without saying I'm going to make.
Yeah, you know that sounds to me like a power bowl.
Pretty much.
You got proteins. You got some rice in there and corn.
What's the roasted corn? Is that the stuff that's like kind of charred on the edges a little bit? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured that's what it was, but I had it somewhere before. I don't know where, like probably in something, but I never could buy or make it myself. Mm-hmm. Just get some corn and make it at home because I love the way that tastes. There's probably something more on it.
There's also like sauce that goes with it, right?
So yeah, it's
some sort of oil.
So elote, the street corn, they take the silks out and then they'll parboil it and then they'll throw it on the grill, wood or charcoal, or you can use propane, and let the corn kind of char a little bit, and then they hit it with a crema, some tahini, the spice that's kind of taken the world by storm here, lime. And usually like some sour cream base or mayo base type of thing. And that's pretty much it. So it's just like sweet, fatty, spicy, salty, and a little cotija, which is a salty Mexican cheese.
I lived in Utah and I had some Mexican friends, and when they barbecue, they would do the same thing. They'll boil the corn a little bit, then they'll throw it on the grill. And then they have this, it's got powdered lime, something spicy and sweet in it. It's like red. Almost red brownish.
Yeah.
Well, tahini is that
salt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they rub all over it, and then you just eat it like that.
It's ridiculous.
That's really good.
It's ridiculously,
I don't know, in California, if you had those hot and sweet mango lollipops from Mexico or whatever.
That's dipped in tahini or a spice mix too. Yeah.
A lollipop, Roman?
Yeah, dude. It's
mango on a stick.
so good.
We got mango beers.
Oh, do you remember I brought something like this, like a beer kit from...
That was disgusting. It was the worst. Did you go to Mexico?
No, that was in Delaware. But I went to...
That's right.
No, I went to...
Same place.
I went to this grocery store that has like produce from different countries. So I went to a Mexico section. Mm-hmm. And they had these beer kits, like when you drink beer, and they had, what was it, sauce?
It was a glass that had like, or it was a box. It came in a box. We bought a box of drink with no fucking liquor in it, but it was a glass with like the shit you put on the rim, and then it was a powder that you fill up like 3/4 of the glass with a 12-ounce beer, and then you put like the rest of that powder in. And then
you mix it.
I mean, that's boom sauce. This was dick sauce. It was terrible. It was so disgusting.
Frank knows dick sauce.
Roman baby birded it to me. But you thought it was disgusting too, right?
That's not bonding.
It was so disgusting. I mean, we rarely don't finish anything on here. That one is one we didn't.
I wanted to try to like it, but yeah, it didn't work.
No,
I just saw something said beer on that. I was like, oh,
someone sells it and someone must like it. It's just not for us. I mean, maybe it's the type of beer you got to use. I don't know.
Yeah, I made it to market, I guess.
Well, it was almost like that spice mixed with beer, basically.
Mm-hmm. But it was. I can't even describe it.
And I think it said to use Corona, right? Did we use Corona?
We did not use Corona. No, we don't have Corona there.
Something like that. We didn't use craft beer though.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably the problem. We probably use some shitty production beer, like Milwaukee's Best or something.
So you do have some meals like the rice bowl chicken. Is it grilled chicken?
It's I get chicken thighs and then I use a dry rub and fresh lime juice and they go on charcoal. Then they go in the oven with some more of the dry rub and I bring it up with a little water. So it kind of creates a broth. So I make black beans in that.
In the broth.
Yeah, I'll reserve that after I'm done with the chicken and cook black beans in it, unless it's a vegetarian thing, in which case it's vegetable stock. But
so you have vegetarian meals as well?
Not unless somebody asks for it. But I do a lot of office lunches, and they'll ask for a vegetarian option. I usually do black beans, or like if it's on the Asian side, I'll do like an edamame salad.
So they can come to you and tell you what they want, or you have to give them something that they could pick from.
They usually tell me what they want. This is something I'm still trying to sort of put together.
But that's great flexibility.
Yeah. And that's the way I look at it. But the question often is like, oh, do you have a catering menu? And right now the answer is kind of no. I'm building one right now that my regular customers kind of built. So it's either the rice bowl bar or the taco bar, or there's a, the rice bowl has two. It's either like a south of the border or Asian influence kind of thing. And then the taco bar is, I have some latitude with that, but I don't have any real menus for people to look over because I usually ask, what kind of event is it? Yep. How many people? Are there dietary restrictions? And then I can morph something off of what I have, or if they want something totally different, I can build a custom menu.
But then this becomes part of the menu somewhere that you can have on the side. So when you're ready to publish a menu, you already have all that shit done.
Right.
Yeah. See, right. Roman, I'm smart.
Oh, good job.
So, it's building itself, I guess you could.
Yeah, but yeah, the upfront effort is going to pay off in the long term for you. I mean, you're going to grow. There's going to be bigger problems in trying to figure out something you've already figured out.
Right.
So.
Right, and it's kind of telling me what the guests want already. So.
Yep.
So this was your first wedding you've done, you said?
Yes.
But what other events have you been catering for?
I've done a 50th anniversary party. I've done a number of graduation parties, high school and college. I've done some drop-offs where people are just having 25 people over and they've got a pool. And it's like, my thing is if you've ever had to cook for a party, you got to go shopping. You got to cram everything in your house. You got to set everything up. You got guests coming over. Mm-hmm. Things aren't ready. Yeah. You're running all day.
Yeah.
So I'm selling that as much as the food. So I've had a few people like, hey, we're having 25 people over and it's, Saturday afternoon. Can you do a drop off? And I've been doing a lot of those too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
And they're fairly easy and it takes all the work out of it for the people that are hosting, at least the food part, which is usually a big part of the puzzle.
I don't remember if I saw catering on your website. Is there do you have pricing on the website for catering or?
Not yet. We're going to.
Based on each event?
It's based on each event and it's, we're going to get some like mock menu kind of things with just to give people an idea of pricing. So we're building that into the website now.
Like a baseline, it's like 20 people, this kind of food,
right?
This much.
And like he says, it's when you got to make something for this many people, typically families are not 25 people. Mm-hmm. So you're making this much food. Where do you put it all? You got a refrigerator and that's it. Like where else is it going to go now?
Right.
So
right.
This is, the catering piece is going to be,
and
hopefully profitable for everybody.
I think, and it's there's such a range of things that constitute catering. I do everything backwards in my life. So I left culinary school and I worked in other kitchens as a cook, and but I kind of fell into a private chef job in the Adirondacks, and it was like carte blanche. Mm-hmm. They had things that they wanted to do. They held events and we want this theme, or we want we had oysters flown in from Japan. We had crawdads flown in from Louisiana. But I got to do, and that was a lot of fun also, but I got to do a lot of my own stuff as well. And I really got to cut my teeth in a very controlled environment. And so I've done a couple of private chef things here as well. And that's a chance for me to kind of play around and challenge myself.
For sure. Yeah.
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 And I've known some people who've gone to private chefs and they haven't gone back. They just stayed there.
Yeah.
Just good position, or maybe whoever their clients are, letting them, be creative.
Yeah. One of my kind of mentors from culinary school, that was he taught during the year, and then and even throughout the school year and in the summer, he was their primary chef, and that was what he did. He had a great relationship with him. It's really a sweet gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you're good at it.
Yeah. If they ask you back,
right,
that's,
Did you cook for anybody famous?
Not that I'm aware of.
No big mentions in Adirondacks from
not us yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Can we talk about buying a silo?
Yeah, we did. We talked about you'll see these abandoned missile silos. Like they sell them.
They're for sale.
We were looking at
one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were gonna buy it. Like you just go in this empty field. Like where the fuck is this thing? And there's this big trap door. And you go in there and it's broken up into a little apartment.
Yeah.
And then from there you could go into the other thing. All the waste is at the bottom, like the tanks and shit. Like how tall are those things? 300 feet or 100? I don't know.
Well, 10, 15 stories. I don't know.
Yeah. How tall is the story?
10 feet is a story.
So, 100 feet. or 150 feet. See, I can do math too.
So you got some ceiling space.
But it's just like, how cool is that? Like someone, all right, come to our party. We're having this event. And then they pull up and like, where the fuck is it? And just open these bay doors. And then we can.
No, that's not how it works.
No, that's how I wanted to make it work. Because you're the construction guy. You can do it. And then out of the bay doors.
You had me though. I'm listening.
Chris, out of the bay comes Chris with his catering stuff.
like Dr. Evil with your escape rocket.
Yeah,
You're
we're like
already
$1 million.
fired
Yeah. But I don't want the bald cat. That's weird. I guess not that bald cat. What the fuck? See, this is only half beer.
I saw a show where they were converting these missile silos into luxury apartments, condos with like bio gardens and all,
Really?
Yeah, ventilation system, all crazy.
And yeah, you can just live underground.
And your windows are these large screens, and you can choose the scenery you want, like
Because they probably got like
beach with trees,
hydroponics and solar power and stuff, right?
Yeah, they have. But the entrance is not the main trap door.
Well, no. You know what? We can do anything we want.
And then you rappel down.
This is my story, right? No, but
that's your imagination.
I know. Well, they do have those doors. That's not the main entrance, but they do have
Right?
them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there.
the side thing is like a little one-person door. You kind of walk in. It's like looks like a little tiny 4x4 shed, and then that brings you stairs down inside. But I want to go through the top with the doors open. I don't want to piss outside.
And
From the bay doors, like, look at this missile, bitch. Zoom in, where you can see this missile.
Russians are zooming in, like, what the hell?
TikTok can follow this. What the fuck
That
is wrong with me?
conversation just veered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just wondering if sometimes, like, my friend who's been a private chef has cooked for famous people, and I think he catered for like one of Obama events or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering if you'd done anything interesting like that.
I haven't yet, and I've seen a few people. They're getting a picture with somebody from the NFL or that kind of thing, and I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Any restaurants have tried to like hire you to be their main chef?
Not since I've gone into business for myself. I worked at a couple of places when I got here. I opened one place for the owners, and then I worked at another place that was already established, and then I kind of struck out on my own. So,
But your long-term plan is to stay in the Syracuse area?
we're right now we're looking to establish here, and I've got 2 kids in school, and my wife's finishing her PhD, and we're looking around here. There's a lot of great areas, and I like Beeville. It's got just a cool vibe to it. I was walking around before I came upstairs. I dig it here.
Where'd you go before you came in here? I thought you were sitting waiting for us, so I'm glad you got the.
I just ran across the street and grabbed
right here?
pounded a beer before I came over.
Yeah, so right across where that is, right across this bridge is where we're going to be next on the 13th.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's just the next building over.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but yeah, Beeville's nice because you can walk anywhere from here. You can just walk. You can hit 5 bars, and 6 restaurants, and
which I like doing.
Yeah.
No, we're happy to be here. I just want to pause really quick for an ad, and then we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry,
Back without.
Getting-
I got a half beer still, so we're good.
it's getting hot.
You ready for another one yet?
AC on.
I got about a half. I'll be ready when you are.
Forgot where I interrupted you, Chris.
I'm ready.
I'm also ready.
Did you finish that?
I'm just about at the bottom.
Man, I thought I was gonna do it. I was like, I'll beat him, but he's
You might have got me.
Now we'll finish the beer, and then refuel, and then get into I forgot where we talked about.
something about you get picked on for your small winky and like shit like that. It's just weird.
Why do you have to tell everybody?
Roman
else
or
about
me?
this?
Because that's
Right. Well, you were picking on
he's
a
not
lot.
alone.
It's cold out.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been cold summer.
So,
But
yeah, I'm not sure where we left off, but we can still
we
talk
talked-
about where you want to go moving forward. You want to stay in.
I asked if any restaurant has approached you to hire you as a full-time chef.
Yeah, not since I've been in business.
Do you work with anybody that might hire you to do stuff for them? Like they pay your business as a contractor?
Not yet, but we're working on that.
Yep.
Specifically, event venues,
Sure.
and things like that. So getting your name out to those places is huge because they'll recommend somebody. And the other thing I'm trying to do is link up with local bartenders that are guns for hire. So we can be like a one package deal.
Yeah, so we can mention someone for that when we're offline here.
Great.
But and maybe next year you can get in on this. We're talking about June 13th. This will probably air after that. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. But either way, but they're having food trucks on the island, and maybe next year you can get in with that in the Rotary. So how does your catering business work now? You just make it all where you're at, and you tote it, or do you have a truck or a trailer? Or
I make it where I'm at, and I usually tote it. So if it's a drop off, it's either do you want it hot or cold? And cold, it comes with reheat instructions, or sometimes I cook on site. So I prepare everything to a certain point, and then I chill it, and then I usually always do some kind of cooking on site because people tend to sort of gravitate towards that, the kitchen or the grill or wherever that's going on, and it kind of becomes a fun conversation with some of the guests.
well, in an outdoor venue like this island, how would you cook on site, or would you need a physical brick and mortar building to do the cooking?
I could do a setup for sure of my own, and I would probably you just limit it to what you can do. And what I'd really like to do is just a big grill with some basic setups and do one or two things that I can really pump out, and that anybody that smells a grill going,
That's right.
Try to find out where it is. So
Yep.
And you need to have a small cooler too with beer.
oh yeah,
A small cooler.
or a large one.
Yeah. How about this size?
It's
We got to fit a body in it.
well, I thought casket.
Yeah, just
Cooler casket.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool, really.
You might have just stumbled on something there.
That'd be all right, man.
That's mine, Amazon.
It's not deep. It's not deep. Yeah, I'm sure they give a shit.
Yeah,
They sell caskets on Amazon.
Yeah, but not casket coolers, and they're not going to fucking protect you.
Pretty soon they're gonna mold those.
It's probably already there.
5
You just said it. They already have one. Boom.
Yep.
They just made it.
be really weird if Costco had them. You got to buy them in a 4-pack.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
And you could get the food in it, or maybe even the body. I don't
whatever. You got to make things multi-purpose.
Bulk pricing
know. Yeah,
for the whole family.
that's right. But the cooler casket might be pretty. I mean, it's kind of more. Halloween would be cool, because we were talking to someone else about Halloween around here, and it was Dennis. And he's talking about how big Halloween is as a holiday, and it's growing. People just love, I guess, the dress up part or whatever it is. But like, you could do that for a Halloween thing if
Get a cooler casket standing up, stacked with beer.
even down and just like have like a hand poking out and a fake head.
Actually, a cooler casket, but with a see-through lid, and have all the beer in there.
So then you just open up the bottom part, because they got the two things, like the head door and the front door, right?
Right, they split.
Yeah, you could lock in the head door, and you can
Well, the head door is the freezer.
or you could just you could pull like beers out of their fucking boobs or something, like whatever that main door is. Titty beers. What did we call them
That'd be
before?
a vending machine.
No, what were we calling? We were calling crispy nips. Remember, I wanted to make a beer and call it crispy nips.
Oh yeah.
For
that was a long time
in
ago.
the summer for sunburnt nipples when you're outside. This guy
We've all been there.
I guess, yeah. But what was the other one for cold? It was crispy nips for hot, and I don't know what the other one was for
I'll have
cold.
to go back and listen to the podcast.
But yeah, like we could brand our own beer, and people can grab crispy nips out of our coffin cooler.
But you have capability of remote on-site cooking, even if it's not provided by a family,
Right.
party or whatever.
Right.
But you have a trailer that like you tow stuff with or?
Everything I've done so far has been out of 2 giant igloos, and I rented a 6-foot grill for the last one, and I had some of my own equipment. So as far as that kind of traveling thing goes, I'm in my infancy stages, but there's really a need to get the necessary equipment for it. So a trailer might be in the works, or some version of that, in order to make things a little more efficient.
Now, you're super efficient the way you are now. If you wanted to stay that way,
Right.
But yeah, growing it wouldn't work. But
Right.
yeah, I mean now you got trailer expense, insurance, all this bullshit. But like, it's something you're probably gonna end up doing, I imagine. I mean, things are going well enough now that you already got the plan in place and the ideas are there. So he's like, it's gonna happen. We know it's gonna fucking happen.
I hope so. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Yeah, and you know what? I think he's maybe like 5th guest here who had their own business that spouses played a big role in helping them. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be able to run my own business.
Same.
It takes that support.
It definitely does, and it's there's things that are the food's the easy part. I mean, to me,
I don't know. I wouldn't know if that was easy for you.
It's
Maybe.
easier for us to eat.
it's easy to order to, we had a couple of learning lessons with a wedding. I overproduced a little bit, but that's, it's,
You'd rather do that than under, right?
yeah, err on the side of caution. But she does things that are an integral part of making the business grow, meaning reaching out to people, or the choice of language we use. Like we just started doing like a newsletter that we have with people that we have their emails. So we're putting this blast out. It's usually got some bit about me or something that we're thinking about, or that we're going to do. We're going to start doing like short cooking tips or easy, recipes. Not.
Is this for like social media?
It's been going out via email, but we're going to start. I think we're going to start attaching it to the website. Okay. But things like that, and being in communication with some of the clients, which can be time consuming, so that it takes a lot of that off my plate. And she asks better questions than I do. Yeah. So like I'll go like I don't know what they want for. She's like, well, just you ask. That's how you that's how you figure that out. And, right. Yeah. So, but yeah, it is. It's a huge piece of the puzzle.
Do you have presence on social media?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and then we have our website, which is we're still building that out. Like I was saying, we want to attach a catering menu to it and kind of a blurb about our concept, help people understand how and why we do things. Yeah. But yeah, those are the three right now.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is such a reach. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of this before.
Well, just think about decades ago, you had to pay for ads on TV and shit like that.
I remember the only social media I knew was MySpace.
I remember MySpace.
MySpace was like, right? Is that was the Facebook?
Well, that was. I don't. Was there even advertising on MySpace?
Well, you could do whatever you want.
I thought it was like a message board, like an early Facebook, not Facebook.
I never even got on it, and then I remember Facebook coming out.
Yeah.
And I was late to the game on that too. Mm-hmm. And now it's Instagram and TikTok and
X,
Twitter.
Yeah, we just started a TikTok like a week ago. Mm-hmm. And like it's crazy how much fucking volume we get on this thing. Like we have like 8 followers. I'm like, this is it's but like the fucking you can see the views on the. I'm like, what is going on here? It's crazy because it reaches so many people. Mm-hmm. People got to follow you, but like still pushed out to people is unbelievable the size of this thing.
Yeah,
and I think based on the business type, Facebook, Instagram might be like the best platforms to reach out to the type of demographic for your business, right? Like most, like I would say your current business is young professionals and older. Like I don't see kids running in from high school or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
Well, at your current location, but maybe you see that happening wherever your future location.
I'm saying like maybe in the future, but like right now, so I would advertise like Facebook and Instagram. For me, that would be like the market to expose that.
It does, and then still the biggest advertising the most successful one for me has still been word of mouth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's slower going, and you have to learn some patience. I mean, sometimes I want to pull my hair out, but other times, you get one email from somebody, then it follows up with another one. Hey, I talked to so and so, and that's kind of what's starting to happen right now. But social media is a necessary thing for communication and reminding people that you're there.
Yeah. Yeah, just appear in front of someone's eyes for 10 seconds, and just like they would remember. Oh yeah, I had that food. Oh, maybe I'll order it today.
Right.
Yeah. So
but you just got to remind them, like you say. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that do catering, but you get out there and you're going to offer things that other people don't. Right. So that's now your menu that they want that catered. But some people, like you said, you plan parties, you got things going on, and I know I need someone to or I want someone to cater and bring me food. Mm-hmm. But then now, what's in your head about who is going to do that? Like, who do you come up with? You're going to think of some large, corporate business or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or, you gotta be in someone's mind to remind them that you're out there, and because we try to always support smaller places. If we can avoid chain things, we do. I mean, I don't have anything against them, but they don't care if we eat there.
Right.
But maybe someone smaller does.
It does. It has a real impact for me.
Yeah.
And I think that the other piece for me that I knew would be something of a barrier going into this is I look to see what everybody else is doing for catering, and there's some good businesses here and that kind of thing, but my food's a little bit different. I think there's a lot of places you can get Italian food, which is the first thing that pops into people's head because it's bulk. People recognize it. There's a fairly substantial Italian community here, so there's some options for it. And mine is kind of hard to characterize. It's definitely Asian and Latin influence, but I sit up at night and look up ideas, and I'm like, I'd really like to try this, but I'm going to do it with this, and that's how I spend my free time. So I'm fairly one-dimensional.
So, is the family guinea pigs for your new recipes?
Family, neighbors.
But unique is
I wish I was your
lots
neighbor.
Lots of people like that.
Yeah.
Lots of people like that, because everybody, nobody wants to have something catered and then have people like,
Yeah.
but now you get someone in there and people are like, wow, that was great. Really interesting food we haven't had before. And now, not even word of mouth. And I mean, the word of mouth, that piece is your food in their mouth. They're maybe they want to do it.
Yeah.
But, anybody can make a hot dog. Anybody, and there's a market for that.
Definitely.
But there are people that want something that's not common.
Yeah. And there's and it's important to earn the trust of the consumer. And so it's, give me one shot, and I'm at the stage right now where it's like I have to nail this.
Yeah.
I can't. There's no room for error right now. I have to make an impression.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's how you sell it.
And it should never diminish from that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, once you set the expectations, don't go back on that.
Yeah, you got to hold it up.
And then when in large events like weddings, now you're exposed to 150 people.
Right.
And they're like, oh man, this is good.
Yeah. It went really well. I grossly overshot how much food we needed for the buffet because people came in and just went gangbusters on the appetizers. And I've worked 100 I've never done it on my own though, and it just went right over my head. And my wife pointed out the next day, she's like, well, they ate a ton of appetizers. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because they're all hungry once they get there.
Yeah.
They're starving, so they want that. And then I remember our wedding, we didn't get any appetizers. Everybody ate them all.
Yeah.
I didn't even get any.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but that's just what happens. People are kind of out and about, and you're doing things, and you go to the ceremony or whatever the case may be, and there may be this kind of lull in between, like, all right, well, we got 2 hours. I don't want to go home. I'm not going home. It's a 3-hour drive, or it's an hour drive. I don't want to go home. So let's go have some beers here. Let's go do something. And by the time they get to the reception, they're fucking starving.
Yep.
And that's the first thing that's out.
Right.
I've done that. I've even gone and eaten before a wedding.
Yeah.
Which is
Because I was
pretty smart.
I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know
Especially open bar wedding.
when, because it ends around 1 or 2, right? The wedding usually it starts around noon or whatever, and then they go for photos, and by the time they get to the venue, and I don't know how long the cocktails are going to be and snacks, and you don't even know if there'll be snacks,
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes my wife now will just go grab some food, but for the new restaurant, for the predicted location where you would have full sit-down restaurant
In Beeville, right?
I would love that.
You're thinking,
Well, Roman can help you find a spot. He's a realtor.
I did.
yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right. Sounds good.
We'll talk about it right now, bitch.
No, right now it's about Chris. And are you thinking of beer and wine license?
Definitely.
Or maybe full liquor license?
Full liquor. And the idea for the front space is to be sort of a storefront for the catering operation. Not that I want that to be of equal value, but that's really what it is. Even though it's its own thing. But the idea is to have a full bar, but a small beer, small, well-curated wine list, cocktail list, and mocktail list, because that's a thing now.
Yep.
In the same way with the menu. I just did a few things the other day from some of the leftovers I had from the wedding just to do some plates. I said I wasn't cooking on Sunday, and the first thing I did was turn a burner on when I got up. But things that there's a nod to local produce, local products, and then how the lens through which I see food. So keep it limited, keep it focused, keep it really good.
Yeah, non-confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Approachable.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's part of the other thing I was about to say. It's the hospitality piece. People should, it shouldn't be a point of pride for a chef to say oh well, they don't understand what I'm making. I want them.
And you
to
can
understand.
offer this one-off stuff here and there as a special or something, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or do a really good job of explaining what something is and why you're using it. And the hospitality piece and all that is very important. How people feel when they leave, how they were treated, how comfortable they were made to feel.
Have you been to Sales ever here?
I haven't yet. No.
Yeah. So Sales is it's a restaurant, and they just built. it was the old Mickey Peralta or something, whatever. So they bought that place, they outfitted, and then there was a Subway next to it. It just became vacant. So now they took that Subway, they redid everything. It's fucking beautiful. They do great work. But now they made that the bar piece. So now they have tables in there with a bar. But you got the bar that's a good size, like picture whatever, like a 30-foot wide by 50-foot Subway building.
Yeah.
It's that for the bar. All nice done inside. The restaurant next to it, but they still kept the back piece, which is their pizza delivery. So that could be like your catering sort of prep thing. And
yeah.
There are to-go operations in the back. Then you go through double doors. You got your dining room, and then in the back is
with a bar. There's a little bar, I think, in the dining room as well, like a fine sort of bar area, I think, still. And then the new piece that was the Subway is, got the roll-up half garage doors.
Yeah,
you can open up, and it's really nicely done. I mean, their location is a bit limited because parking's a problem, but I mean, real estate you want to buy and what you want to do is going to cost money to buy to do what you want to do. I mean,
that's it. Right. And it's cool to see how creative people get. Like a lot of what you're talking about. That's definitely like, this is a space we're getting. What are we going to do with it?
Yep.
I think that's really cool.
It's really nice in there. I mean, stop by and see it when you get a chance. But
definitely,
it's another nice business owner here that has interesting spaces for restaurants is the Angry Garlic and the Angry Smokehouse.
Yes.
And he also has Angry Waters. I don't know if you're familiar. So
I knew he had the two, and I met him a few times.
He's a phenomenal guy.
He really is.
Really nice guy.
He's one of those people that's like, I need to be a better person.
So
it's not going to happen.
We need to leave that effect.
We need beer for that to happen.
Yeah, I need to get some beers because I'll mention his other thing.
Yeah, so he like Roman said, he'll talk. I don't care. He'll talk about Angry Waters.
Surprise me.
He'll talk about Angry Waters, but Angry Smokehouse, Angry Garlic, and then across the street from them is Pizza Man Pub. But Jeff at Angry Smokehouse and they've got a bar on Angry Smokehouse that's outside. It's just on their deck, but it's called Embers. It's just a separate sort of deck. But that thing. So we're talking about this June 13th event. I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm glad we can promote it. I don't really. That's not what I'm trying to do. But when you sit on that deck, you're looking at the island where this is all going to be because you can get to where we're going to be by boat,
right,
or by car, but he's got a perfect location to see that. So, and then Roman will, the Angry Waters thing just started last year, right?
Yeah. So we interviewed Jeff last year about his business. And at that time he was just starting out. He bought a pontoon boat that he modified. And it's pretty cool because he has a app. You can follow where his boat is on the river. And it's wired with a breathalyzer so that the captain does not drink. And he pre-cooks a lot of barbecue food like ribs, briskets.
Yeah, whatever's on his menu there, yeah.
And he's got these heaters on the boat. Stocks it, and then the boat goes out on the water.
Those metal things with sternos, And
so people on boats can look up on his app where the boat is, stop over, buy some barbecue or whatever, and he keeps the captain from getting free beers from boaters because everybody's got beer on their boat.
You could be sitting in your back yard along the water, and he pulls the boat up. You order online. You have a pier, You order online, and he'll deliver the fucking food to you.
That's genius.
It is great. Yeah.
It's genius.
It's all these great ideas.
Angry I didn't think of that.
Angry Waters.
Yeah.
So, Chris, cheers to you.
Cheers.
By the way.
Gentlemen.
Thank you for your business. Thank you for your food. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here.
And
thank you for dealing with us assholes.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks to your wife for being such a backbone and helping to support this. Like I said, we know so many people, including myself. Like if our wives didn't support it, we couldn't do it.
And it's a tough industry, and you hear a lot about less than successful relationships. I've had nothing but support, and that's good. That's huge because it's long hours. Sometimes it can be so you guys have businesses. It's like some days it's great, and other days it's like, why did I do this?
Yeah,
that doesn't end in my business.
But there's more of the great than there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's if you can find time to disconnect and also spend with your family and have downtime, because as business owners we work 24/7, right? It even comes with me on vacation. And I found out maybe 2-3 years ago how important it is to be able to set the business aside. Nothing is going to burn down, and just enjoy time with the family and how important that is. You have 2 kids?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to remember all the moments.
Yeah, because they're going to be working there.
Speaking of that, do you have any employees?
One.
Yeah.
One?
So I contracted some people for the wedding, and I've been really lucky to have made some good relationships with my team that I worked with when I opened the first place I was in, and I can, I've got a couple of guys that are just, I wish I could clone them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it without them, honestly. And then I have one regular employee. He keeps things running smoothly at the shop. He fills the gaps where I need him to. He helped out with the wedding, so I'm lucky to have that, that foundation, because you're not, you can be as good a cook as you want. Yeah. You're only as good as your team.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So,
team support always needed. I see these smaller companies, smaller meaning below 500 employees, that offer part ownership of the company to employees. So now employees are invested in the business to do well. Like Chobani does that.
Yes.
Yogurt. Yeah. And actually, there's a local company.
Stewart's, I think, is employee owned, right? Stewart Shops.
Oh, really?
I think, or maybe Kenny or something like this. I'm not sure.
I want to say it sounds like I think Stewart's is yeah.
There's a company, I just saw an article. I'm going to try to reach out to the owner, see if they're interested to meet up. But it's called Hidden Lane, and basically a radar detection to detect invisible.
Oh, the drone
drones.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and I watched a little video about, and it started here in Syracuse, like in the basement with a few partners. Now they employ over 100 people.
That's happening. That's our story. We started in a basement with a few people, and we haven't employed anybody.
Their home base is Syracuse. They are thinking about opening other locations, but they've got contracts with like Syracuse, and so basically what I'm saying is they also said that it's part employee owned, so employees have percentage invested into, and it creates better environment.
It does.
Like it doesn't, like I've worked in different jobs, restaurants or whatever, and it's always like, oh, it's not my job, or like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's his job. I'm not going to touch it.
Right.
But when everybody's invested, you all help each other out.
Yeah.
There's this video.
As long as it's not union.
There was this video.
Because you can't touch that. If it's someone else's job, you can't.
Oh, I know. My friend was in the tile union, and they had one guy just to mix cement. That's it. So there was this clip, and there was a guy. I think he's like he gets hired for like restaurants. If restaurants are failing, they hire him. There might be a show. He looked familiar.
It's the guy who looks Italian.
Yeah. Looks like.
But they're
Italian
always
mafia.
like amped up, and they start coming in like it's not really that important. You don't have to act that way.
What I like that he said in that clip.
Yeah.
What I like when he said in that clip is that when the tables at the restaurant is not one particular waiter's table, it's everyone's table.
That's right.
Okay? And don't say no to customers. Even if it's impossible, just at least show some effort that you tried.
Right.
But I like what he said. It's not this person's table. Oh, they need water, but it's not my table.
Yeah.
It's everyone's tables. It's like attended.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's not my section. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
This whole business is your section.
Yeah.
And I think you just might have found an answer for something that's epidemic in the restaurant industry, and that's staff turnover.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to. Nobody's ever gonna buy into your business as much as you. You built it. You started it. It's your idea. But at the same time, it's very easy for them to feel disenfranchised as well. So making somebody a shareholder or giving them some stock in it gives them some skin in the game, and that I think that allows you to convey your message a little better. Because to me, like, not easy for me to say as a chef, but I think the hospitality piece is more important. People feeling taken care of. The food's definitely important. But people feeling taken care of, anticipating something, saying, "Oh, table 13 needs another napkin. I'm just going to run it over." And as they're trying to pick it up, you're handing them a new one. That people may not realize exactly that, but that experience sticks with them. it's
and
getting
that helps everybody become better. All these employees, I mean, people are going to come back. They're going to tell people. Now everybody makes more money. You get more tips. You get more business. You get more better raises. All these things.
And there's small tweak like details that can be done in the restaurant to increase the level of hospitality, right? So you go to some restaurants, and if you have crumbs on the table or whatever, whoever attends, whoever is your
waiter person
might not take care of it, or they'll just go like this on the floor, right? So you go to some nicer restaurants, they'll have a little scraper, and they will scrape every time. There's a little crumb from you put the bread down, you picked it up, there's crumbs, they'll walk by, and those little attention to details, just little things like you said, hand them a clean one as you pick up the dirty one, right?
I'm making my tablecloths crumb colored, so like you just never know.
They'll just stand there.
You're just gonna fucking tell.
every bite something's going somewhere. Yeah,
Make it multicolored. That's the soft spot,
You always have to make someone's life difficult.
No, that's making it easier. Now no one has to clean it.
Yeah, but imagine in a restaurant, you bring your own and they walk away.
I'm not saying bring my own. I'm saying as a restaurant owner, I would make my tablecloth that way.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
not
you
going to show my own fucking tablecloth.
you would make
Never
it on
again am I doing that.
not falling for that again.
No, I'm just saying like a multicolored, and then that's the chicken spot. Or that's
seats on the subway.
Yeah. Who knows? Whatever that is, it's not hidden. Like when you get up and you stick, it doesn't matter what color the seat is.
Like seats on the subway or like the casino carpets, like they're all different colors and zigzaggy, so you won't.
It's not an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
But just like those little details that really makes a difference.
It does.
It doesn't mean that you have to work harder. It's just attention to those things.
Right.
If you're talking to a table taking orders and you heard a silverware drop, right? If you can catch it where it was, maybe on the way out, as you walking away, you grab a new set, just bring it to them.
Right.
Just replace it really quick. Just these little things. And I worked as a waiter, so I better not fucking hear that you're full of shit. I worked. Do you know Ground Round?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I worked.
I miss their chicken wing bar.
I got fired from a Ground Round when I was 18.
I could.
Well, they were like, well, we don't have any hours right now. And then like years later, I'm like, oh, that's what that meant.
I worked as a waiter there, and I quit. Part of the reason is because I feel like there was a lack of teamwork.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had like 3 jobs. I worked there, and across the parking lot, I worked at Pizza Hut. I was a manager there, and I opened the restaurant. No cooks, no prep guys, nobody, no delivery driver.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell? So I had to open the restaurant so I could do everything but deliveries. And I'm calling a branch manager, and I was, saying, Donna, I need your help at this branch. No one's here. So a branch manager in the apron and the shift manager running Pizza Hut for people until workers show up.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And I didn't complain. I didn't fuck, this is not my job.
Yeah.
No, I was taking phone calls, prepping, cooking pizza, all this stuff. Shift manager shows up. Now we're working together until these lazy fucks showed up and decided to work that day.
And there's a certain amount of, it says something. It's like just, in military terms, accomplish a mission.
Yeah.
Right.
It sucks
needs to
right
be
now.
done. Yeah.
Oh
man.
But you really don't have a choice. Your only choice is to accomplish. You can't fail.
Right.
Nobody chooses I'm just going to give up. I hope I fail.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a choice, and it's to your point, those are the things that matter, and being able to instill that in your staff, and not only that, but I think genuinely making them feel like you are a part of this. You are very important to me.
Yeah.
And everybody that's here. I think that's the job of the owner.
And you got their back. Like if you show your employees, I got your back. Let's all work hard together.
Yes.
I'm here working hard with you. And
I say it all the time. If you give a shit, you're like 60% qualified already. If you just care about what you're doing, you're above 50%. Like you're on the right way.
Right.
If you don't give a shit, then that's why you're going to find yourself in the situations you find yourself in.
Yeah, and why do it at that point? If you don't really, if you don't really care about what you're doing, then just get a paycheck from somebody.
Yep.
Yeah,
just call it done.
Just not you, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's true. So you said one employee, and this idea of you talking about of opening the new location, is that coming up soon or?
I'm not sure. I hope I'd like to say in the next couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually working with small business development right now to get. I'm formulating a business plan. They're going to help develop projections based on that, and then the conversation about money has to be had. But finding the spot is proving to be the challenge right now. Right, like there's no perfect spot. Right, you either. I was talking to somebody today. They had great parking, but a small space. Then they got this great space, and parking was a challenge. So everything's going to have its challenges to it. But finding the right space at the right time will be what drives the whole.
And a lot can open up between now and then.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows with the way the way the economy shifts or the way businesses come in and go.
Yeah.
There's a ton of external variables.
Just a matter of grabbing it on time.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do paperwork, you can get a loan, you have money in place, everything. But like you said, it's grabbing the right space in time.
Yeah.
is challenging, especially with the inventory now. It's like spikes up, drops down. Spikes up, just like we don't have enough homes. And with Micron coming in, there'll be more residents here. With the highway change, the residents will also increase, and we don't have enough inventory for demand.
Yeah, and interest rates are high, and
Yeah.
And it will fluctuate. It'll be a few years of renting, less sales, then sales go up, less renting. Market's so weird. I've lived here 17 years, I think, 18 years, and
In Beeville?
and I haven't seen Central New York real estate market change this much.
Yeah.
change how? Like not available or
No, just prices, demand, growth, expansions, development, like in all those fields, and just dramatically.
Yeah,
we were kind of like smooth sailing, and then just boom,
and it shot up.
Yeah.
We bought in 2018, and our house is at like double what we paid for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not.
Well, and you can't even get rid of it because you're going to pay double for something else.
Right, that money's just going to get absorbed somewhere else. Right. So we're good where we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I mean,
and it will continue to grow.
Yep.
There's some studies and research we're doing in our real estate firm and trying to figure out, different developments here, how it's going to affect community growth, population growth, and businesses.
Yeah.
More people coming in. There'll be entrepreneurs. There'll be small business owners moving here for opportunity. Graduates that want to stay here and expand, either work for a company or open their own. So we're calculating all these possibilities, and hopefully I can help you with something.
That'd be great. And I'm
anything our podcast can help. You with your business. We always offer this.
Well, not so much you, but we'll help your wife because she's got to deal with you. This type of thing.
Yeah.
You know how it works.
Let's start there.
You know how it works. Top down, right?
I get that look
Chain
a
of
lot.
command.
They meet her and like, she married him.
Yeah, who's pranking me?
Yeah, must have been low inventory at the time.
What was that show with Ashton Kutcher?
Punked.
Yeah, he's punking me. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever we can do for sure. And again, we appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. And
I appreciate you guys reaching out to me. It's,
Is there anything you want to add that we haven't touched on?
I think the only other thing I would say, growing a business is a crawl, but I've had some really great support from a lot of my guests, clients, customers. Some of the people that I have that come into the shop regularly, business, it does this. But I have some ferociously loyal people, and you can't quantify that.
yeah, there's no price tag in loyalty.
There isn't, and they're just great. There's this one gentleman that comes in. He's a doctor. He just came in. We were prepping for the wedding. We had camp rows of potatoes and everything going on everywhere. And he was like, he just came in. He's like, "Hey, break a leg. Good to see you."
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that means a lot.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, you have 2 more supporters.
Yes.
well, I really appreciate
from
it.
here for sure.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, we like to see people around us grow and succeed. Small businesses, individuals, just no reason to struggle. I think if we all kind of support each other.
Yeah, there's enough to go
100%.
around.
Yeah,
There's enough for everybody.
yeah, and I'm a big rising tide person.
Yeah.
I think small businesses supporting small businesses of every sort. I've seen it in play in other communities, and I think we can do more of it here.
Yep. So how can people get or see what you have to offer as far as your Instagram name, your Facebook name, all these things?
Instagram, Facebook. My Google page is, I think, where people mostly order from. But you can see the menu. I have Clover as a point of sales, so anytime I update a special or anything like that, it goes straight on the menu. I have great support from them. And then right now, the website's a work in progress. We're working on refining that, but we're going to get some sample menus up so that people can at least see what kind of stuff we offer, and then we can hone pricing from there. And what I try to do with that is I try to discourage people from overspending. It doesn't affect my margin, and just to have somebody spend too much money on something isn't necessarily the best way to do things. So the consultation is part of the service, and I try to tell people, like, you're having this kind of party for this would be the best format for us. So when I did like a year ago, I'm like, don't do a dinner, do a cocktail party, do past apps, canapes. Nobody's going to want to sit down. Everybody's going to want to talk. So we're trying to build that piece and focus the website on catering mostly, but you can also order online there. So that's where we can be reached at.
Okay.
And the address of your restaurant?
725 Irving Avenue. It's a physician's office building. So if you look in, I'm right on the ground level floor.
And if someone who never had any food at your restaurant and stopped by tomorrow, what would you recommend them?
Any of the tacos or the Chipotle chicken bowl, because that's been on since day one, and it's been our leading seller. The beef bowl's right behind. It's just as good, but like I kind of have a soft spot for that one. It's the most approachable. It was the most popular, and it's like, so it tells them a little bit about where we started.
So on Instagram, you're Brazen Cafe?
Yes.
Yeah. Same with Facebook?
Yes. Yep. Brazen Cafe, SYR.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris, again for taking time coming in, enjoying a beer with us, sharing your cool story. We wish you success in any way we can help. Please reach out. We always like to extend that to our guests. And
you're welcome back anytime. Anything pops up, let us know.
Love to.
And I'll see you tomorrow for tacos.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.